Welcome to Yashar Kids Garden. Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's show. And I would like to welcome a new guest today, and I'm just going to take a moment to allow him introduce himself. And of course, before we start the session, if you are yet to subscribe, if you are yet to follow us, if you are yet to like this video and our other videos, please be sure to do so. All right, so I'm just going to leave our guest right now to make his presentation. He's going to tell us who he is, what he does, and any other information he feels necessary. Okay, so kindly present yourself. Thank you.
My name is Odunsiololuwa Solomon. I'm a breeder. I'm into dog breeding, and my company name is Braga Dogs Kennel. Braga Dogs Kennel. That's my company name. Basically, I'm also a banker, a marketer in the bank. So my personal business is my kennel, which is my dog business. That's what I do. After my work, weekends, I focus more on my personal business, which is my dog breeding. So that's all for now.
Okay, so thank you very much. Nice to have you here. As a matter of fact, the topic we have today is more so all about dogs. So we were reading the other day, and we started to see a lot of incidents with dogs attacking people, and which brings in the question of irresponsible owners and ownership. So just before we start with the questioning, most of our topic is all about dogs, focuses on aggression, responsibility, and training. So, what would you like to tell us that is the principal reason why we are seeing an increase in the attacks of dogs towards people? So, is it tied to the owners, or is it tied to the dogs? Is it tied to the breeds? What is the issue exactly? How would you explain this for us, being an expert in this field?
Okay. Basically, I always tell people there's never an aggressive dog, but a lot of people just buy dogs. They just buy dogs. They just feel like, okay, I like this dog, let me just buy it. You don't just buy dog. Before you buy dog, you have to look the kind of dog you want to buy. Do you understand? We have a watchdog. We have guard dogs. Do you understand? So let me just start with watchdog, then I go to guard dogs.
Okay.
Watchdog basically are dogs that only alert the owner. Do you understand? They don't have the ability to bite, to be aggressive. They will just alert you by barking. Do you understand? Probably when they see strangers or something strange or something like a threat to them, they'll just bark. But they don't have the ability to, bite or do that kind of thing. But that's the difference between a watchdog. And when you see all these watchdogs, there are dogs like terrier, dogs like chow chow, husky, all these small pet dogs. Yeah, that's what they call it, pet dogs. So they don't have the ability to attack. Do you understand? So, but when you are buying a guard dog, definitely you know what you are in for. Because basically, a guard dog have the tendency to attack. Do you understand? Guard dog has the tendency. A guard dog has tendency to attack, and guard dogs are very dominant and territorial, loyal at the same time to their owners at the same time. Depends on how you take very good care of them. Depends on how you train your dog, will determine how far, the kind of, whether you're going to see the negative side of them or you're going to see the positive side of them. I always tell people there is no dog that is aggressive. Okay, let me just give you an instance. Guide dogs generally have the tendency to be aggressive, like their instincts, because they are very dominant and territorial. That's their instinct. Their natural instincts tells you that okay, this dog is territorial and dominant. So they have the ability to be aggressive. So you as the owner, it is now your responsibility, to look after the dog. Okay, this is what I want for my dog. I don't want my dog to be aggressive. As the things you need to do.
Hey, look, these days, where economy just they fail. Come with Sapa way, no fit explain. You get brand where they sell, we go pay. We go pay, go pay, go hey, pay. Look, info, Leon Finfo, follow me, go, may we get money. Make you call your amigos, free membership, sign up quick, and no they carry body. If you buy, if you sell for this website, no commission, no cost for this website. But cool sellers, we go give you good price. And if you know like I'm go the next guy. Hey, no middleman, we go try take your money to do your thing on a solo. If you find anything, if you shop buy for any location, where you there, so my manana. Distress sales. My manana. Distress sales. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net.
Everybody just they dance, they smile for here, man. Like say things they share for this website. Let me go check out this website, man.
In order for your dog not to be aggressive, is to train your dogs. And how do you train your dogs? You train your dogs to be obedient. Obedience is part of the training you give to your dog. Do you understand? Teaching a dog, to come. Probably there are some basic training you give to your dog, like sit down, stand up, get back to your cage. Little commands. I have a dog, for example, somebody came into my house. My dogs are naturally aggressive because they are dominant quite a lot, But because I've been able to teach them those little basic things, about command, like go back, get back to your cage, sit down. So they will definitely listen to me. So even if the dog is trying to attack a stranger, once I just tell my dog, get back to your cage, the dog is going back to the cage because you've taught the dog some basic commands. Do you understand? You've taught that dog some basic commands, like, you train your dog to be obedient. Sit down. Then you must have time for your dog. A lot of people don't have time for their dogs. A lot of people don't socialize their dogs. When you don't socialize your dogs, trust me, your dog is going to be very aggressive, especially when your dogs are guide dogs.
Okay, so I think you touched on one of the topics I would like to touch upon as well, which is socialization. So it seems you're hitting all the right points even before we ask the question. So socialization, what would you say is socialization, and how would you socialize a dog? What steps do you take to socialize a dog?
The steps you need to take to socialize your dogs is, number one, make time for play. Do you understand? Make time for play. Play with your dogs. Tell your dogs little commands. Sit down, Give your dog some things like meats, beef, sit. You play with your dog. It's part of socialization. When you yourself play with your dog, you allow your kids to play with them, with your dog. Allow your parents to play with your dogs. So in the process of socializing with everyone around, it gives them this kind of comfortability, like, instinct, like, oh, okay, I'm not supposed to attack this person. This person is a family. The dog sees you as a family. He doesn't see you as a threat. Do you understand? So it's part of socialization. Take your dog on a walk, on a daily walk. Take your dog on a daily walk.
On the issue of daily work, so
When
when do we start? At what age do we start the socialization process, and where do we draw the boundary between socialization and security? For example, you spoke about guard dogs, right? So a guard dog, we don't want a dog we've actually gotten to protect us, trying to be friendly with everybody. So how do we ensure that these dogs are not friendly with everyone during the socialization process?
I will tell you this, my dog, for example, the reason why you can socialize your dog and at the same time they'll be very dominant and territorial. For example, I don't allow my dog to see strangers. Strangers coming into my compound, I don't allow my dog to see strangers. But I socialize my dogs with my family. I allow my dogs to play with my kids, my mom, wife, siblings, parents, everybody. So my dogs actually know everyone in the environment aside strangers. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Aside strangers, because they are guide dog. I didn't buy it I didn't buy my dog to play with strangers. I bought them for security purpose. Do you understand? So at the same time, you socializing your dog does not mean they won't be aggressive to strangers. They might be aggressive to strangers. Depends on how you train them. Number one, when I bought my dog, I had to move the cage away from where the dog can actually see strangers coming into the compound. You understand? Mm-hmm. So for about 4, 5, 6 months, the only people the dog is seeing is just people around, people at home, just your family. They socialize with the dog, they give the dog food, meat, beefs, all those things. But the fact that the dog does not see strangers speaks volume, speaks a lot. So maybe for like 6 or 7 months, you need to take your dog away from, seeing strangers. And trust me, the first time your dog will see strangers is going to be very aggressive. That's why you see them backing towards that strangers. And when you see them backing towards strangers, they are seeing that strangers like a threat. Like, okay, what's this person doing in my compound? Why are you intruding my privacy? You understand? You start seeing them reacting. You start seeing your dog reacting to strangers. And before you know, you start building their confidence. The confidence start developing. But trust me, when you socialize your dog very well with your family, play with them, allow your kids to play with them, trust me, they'll be very loyal. And not just play with them, make sure you take care of the dog, bathe your dog regularly, take your dog on a walk. You understand? Mm-hmm. Keep your dog's dental care perfectly well. Protect your dog from flea, ticks, headworms, and all those things.
Okay, so I think we're going to go into care very soon in regards health of the dogs. But I have a question about this socialization, but more so I think I understood what you said. If basically what you're saying is that, because you mentioned taking the dog on a walk, and obviously that's not the territory of the dog, that's not where the dog resides. So the fact that it's able to go on a walk frequently, it's able to socialize on a general scale. But so where we draw the line is not familiarizing the dogs or your dogs within the house. So basically not letting people come into the house and the dog seeing those people. So you're trying to create a separation between the territory and the outside world. So that's basically what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So I'll just have another question. So what would you say, just going back to the main focus of this discussion, what would you say about dogs that have attacked people on the outside? Are they beyond training? That's the first note. And what do you suggest should be a remedy in place for people or reducing this level of attacks? Because I think there should be some level of accountability on the part of the owners. What do you say about that?
Yeah, basically, the owners of the dogs are just careless because they are not taking very good care of their dog. They are not observant enough, because if they are actually observant enough and they know the kind of dogs they keep, they would have looked for a way to, find a solution to taking very good care of the dog and taking care of the aggression. So for me, even if the dog is aggressive, you can still, take care of the dog. You can still train the dog to be obedient. That is why just register for obedience class. There are things, call on a dog, people that knows much about dog. They can actually help you train your dogs. Even you yourself, you can train your dog by just have time for them. Basically, have time for your dog. A lot of people don't have time for their dogs. A lot of people don't have time. Somebody just bought dog, put it in the cage, just feed the dog. So what do you expect? You can't expect anything positive from that kind of dog because you yourself are not, you didn't socialize well with the dog. Do you understand? You don't train your dog to be obedient. Let me give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
If I am with my dog and you come in as a stranger, trust me, dog will attack you because I'm with my dog. That's what they call obedience. But trust me, if I'm not with my dog and you come in alone, my dog is going to attack you because I've trained my dog to that extent. Do you understand?
Okay, so let me
So
just I think one of those, just because of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I just want to be just to touch on most of the points we have to touch upon. So as regards the society at large, should there be penalties put in place for dog owners who don't ensure that they take good responsibility of their dogs, for example? What would you say? Do you think there should be a legislation in place for that? Because there seems to be an increase in the amount of dog attacks recently. So what would you say?
Yeah, I believe they should start sensitizing people. The government generally should start sensitizing people about their dogs. When you are buying dogs, if you know you're not going to have time for your dogs, it's better you don't buy the dog. If you know you're not going to have time for the dog, don't just buy the dogs. Do you understand?
Okay.
You must have at least someone must be there. If not you, someone at least must be there to take care of the dogs in terms of feeding, in terms of socializing your dog. Yeah, there should be some rules in place. Do you understand? Some penalties. If your dog attacks, that is why you see a lot of people, even they vaccinate their dogs. Do you understand? They give their dog these vaccinate their dog so that once they attack, it will affect person involved. That's why you see people give their dogs anti-rabies, not because of anything, but because it doesn't affect, the person involved directly with the dog.
Okay.
So that's why you see people giving their dogs to vets.
Perfect. So you seem to have experience in training, as you mentioned. So what would you say about those dogs that are ill behaved? It's so much so that I remember one time seeing a dog on a leash, and the owner couldn't even get the dog to stay in its place, even while on a leash. So that tells you that if the leash wasn't present, or for some reason the dog seems to somehow overpower the owner, what would you say about dogs like that? Are they beyond training, or are they a rectification process, or do you have like a reinstatement kind of training program in place where we can take dogs that don't seem to have any level of control and actually reinstate them and give them some level of training on that note to be better behaved? Do you have such a thing in place? And can owners, for example, come to you to have that kind of training in place?
Definitely. Actually, I'm still very much working on that part because basically I would be going fully into the dog business, and that will allow me to have enough time for my dogs and other people's dogs actually, But for now, there's no program in place for that for now. But along the line, well, I'm definitely going to venture into such program where I can actually train people's dogs. You can bring your dog to me, or obedient training. That is what they call it, obedient training. Train your dogs to be obedient, basically. When you train your dog to be obedient, they will listen to you, they will listen to the owner. And there are some tips, there are some things we give them to dogs. That cannot be said here, actually. No. That's a personal
That's a
thing
trade secret. Okay,
for
of
all of
course.
us.
Okay, so I know you mentioned during your elaboration, and you stated made a statement to say that you need to socialize your dog with your kids, right? I've heard of families who have dogs, and for some reason their dog happened to eat up their kids, and probably mar their kids. I think there was a story about that sometime, and I'm sure we must have heard it. Probably you must have. But how do we rectify this situation? Like, what was the case? So now you say that you raised the dog with the kids, or no? I think we said more so probably was socialize with the kids. That were your words exactly. So how can we during the socialization process learn to trust the dog? For example, we know that certain breeds are more difficult to train and less predictable because their nature is more so wild. Does that socialization process work all the time? Is it a foolproof system? And if not, what steps should be taken in that respect?
The thing is, when you are buying a dog, hmm, that is why it's good when you buy a dog as a puppy. Do you understand? It's just like you training your kids. When you give birth to your kids, you are training them from the scratch. It is what you instill into them that will be part of them, of your kids. Do you understand? Okay,
Yes.
this is what my idea. I want my kids to become a musician. Definitely, they will become one. They will have interest in such things. So when you are training your dog, that's why you have to buy a dog from puppy. Don't just buy a dog, except you want to use it for probably business. And with time, the dog will get used to you. But you don't know the attributes of the dog because you are just buying it. But from the scratch, when you are buying dog from puppy, you know the trait of the dog, you know everything about the dog. You know, okay, this dog is aggressive. I have to socialize my dog with my kids. I can easily tell my kids to, oh yeah, tell London to sit down, for example. That's the name of my dog. Oh yeah, London, sit. London will sit. Oh yeah, give her the chicken or turkey. You give to her. That's like an obedient training. So there is getting conversant with those training, with those, you have to socialize with them. You have to buy dog from puppy. When you buy from puppy, it's easier to train, basically. It's easy to train your dog when you buy from puppy. It is what you instill into them. That's when you see the outcome. Either if you instill something negative, you see it. If you see something positive, you see it in the puppy. Do you understand? That's why I always advise people when you are buying dog, buy from puppies. When you buy from puppy, yeah, you can easily train them to whatever you want them to be. It's easy for you to train them. So easy. Why is because a lot of people don't have time for their dogs. That's why you see a lot of dogs, they are too aggressive, very aggressive, because they don't have time for them at all. You must have time for your dog. You must take your dog on a walk, socialize with your dog, play with your dog, run with your dog inside compound. It gives them this kind of comfortability, and they will be loyal. And dogs are very, very loyal. They are man's best friend. I can tell you that. There is no dog that you can't train. There is no dog, no matter how aggressive the dog is. We have a lot of guard dogs. Bull Mastiff, Wabo, Penkoso, very dominant dogs. Doberman, Akita, German Shepherd, Australian Shepherd, Turkish Kangaroo, but they are still pets. No matter how big they are, no matter how they are aggressive, no matter how aggressive they are, you can still train them. No matter the bite force, you can still train them. You understand? So it's just about buying dogs from puppy and train them to
Okay.
whatever you want them to
All
be.
right, so let's transition into something more so important as well, which is the health of the dog, and obviously that is something that is connected to the us as well, because if we have the subject of rabies and that ties into the vaccination of the dogs, how do we ensure that like, can you tell us a little bit about health and what kind of drugs, medication, or injections these dogs need to get to ensure that even if there's an event of a bite, at least the one doesn't have to worry about contracting a serious disease that can actually lead to some serious fatality.
Good. This is very interesting. Number one, when you buy a dog or your dog gives birth, basically, probably you had a female and she just gave birth, or you are just buying a fresh. What you need to do is when your dog gives birth, just make sure you give them the right. Make sure before you introduce food to your dog, make sure they are over 4 or 5 weeks. Make sure they are sucking the mother's breast. That is very healthy for at least 4 to 5 weeks after giving birth. Then if you are buying, it depends on the week you bought your dog. If you are buying 7 or 8 weeks, the first thing you need to do is when you buy a dog is to vaccinate your dog. The vaccine is very, very important because the vaccines will protect your dog from, a lot of disease like parvovirus, a lot of viruses like parvovirus, parainfluenza. Do you understand? Parainfluenza, we have parvovirus, stuff like that. You need to protect your dog from those diseases, those viruses, just like kids. When you give birth, they'll tell you you have to give them vaccines, you have to give them immunization. So there's no difference. When you give kids immunization, you are trying to strengthen the kids' immunity, their immune system. Just like dog, when you vaccinate your dog, you are trying to boost their immunity, to protect them from contacting all kinds of outside disease, stuff like that. So that's the essence of vaccine. And when you are giving your dog vaccine, you have to give in the very first 6 to 8 weeks, you give your dog the first vaccine, which is DHLP. We call it DHLP. You give your dog DHLP 6 to 8 weeks. Then after 8 to 10 weeks, you give the second vaccine. In like 2 weeks interval. 6 to 8 weeks, you give the first vaccine. 8 to 10 weeks, you give the second vaccine. 10 to 12 weeks, you give the third vaccine. So you have to give them 3 times within the space of 6 to 12 weeks. Basically, you have to give them the vaccine 3 times. Then after that, probably 4 months, upward, they can now introduce what they call anti-rabies for the dog. Anti-rabies for the dog. Then on monthly, every 3 months, you start giving them what they call, during this period of giving them those vaccines, you have to give them what they call deworming. You have to deworm your dog regularly, at least every 2 weeks. Then after 4 months, you can now, after that 12 weeks, you can now introduce that deworming like once in every 3 months. You deworm your dog against all kinds of worms, parasites that may actually affect their intestine, their body system. So once you give them all these things, it's part of their health. It's part of you taking care of your dog health. It makes them very healthy. Giving them the necessary vaccines, deworming your dog regularly, giving antibiotics as and when due, makes them very healthy. Do you understand? So there are a lot of.
All right, so I'm going to just cut you short because of time, but also, can you tell us about feeding? Okay, because I think actually was prior to this meeting we were in discussion, and also I guess I'm also a pet lover. I was looking for how to also get a dog from you as well. So, and I know one of the things you mentioned was feeding being a very important aspect of these dogs, especially when it comes to those foreign breeds. And if you really want the best outcome and the best looking dog, in essence, what would you say? What can you comment about food? Is there a special diet? Can we just feed the dog anything? Are there things that are harmful to dogs? Is there anything that we should know? And what can you say in essence as regards food?
Yeah.
These days Hey, look, these days, where economy just they fail. Come with Sapa way, no fit explain. You get brand where they sell, we go pay. We go pay, go pay, go hey, pay. Look, info, Leon Finfo, follow me, go, may we get money. Make you call your amigos, free membership, sign up quick, and no they carry body. If you buy, if you sell for this website, no commission, no cost for this website. But cool sellers, we go give you good price. And if you know like I'm go the next guy. Hey, no middleman, we go try take your money, to do your thing on a solo. If you find anything, if you sharply buy for any location, where you there, so my manana, distress sales. My manana, distress sales. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net. Distress sales.net.
Everybody just they dance, they smile for here, man. Be like say things they share for this website. Maybe go check out this website, man.
Basically, dogs can eat human foods. Yeah, dogs can actually eat human foods, but but they have their own basic foods. Do you understand? Like we have the dry food for dogs, we have the canned foods. But if you are buying dog as well, I advise you buy the dry food or the canned food. Then after a while, you can start introducing your own local made food. Do you understand? There are local made food that you can give your dog, and it's not going to affect them. Foods like waste indomie, soya meal, full fat soya, dry fish. Dogs can eat meat, they can eat turkey, but the thing is, you just have to reduce the bone that you give to your dog, because bones can actually affect them. Don't give them catfish bone. Those are the kind of foods you need to avoid when you're giving your dogs catfish bone. Don't just give it to them. You can give them turkey if the bones are not too strong. There are some chicken and turkey that have a very soft bone. Yes, with that, it's not going to affect your dog. So you have to reduce the amount of bone you give to your dog. Or you can give your dog anything to eat, anything that you can afford. Just make it healthy. Waste indomie, there's waste spag that you can mix with full fat soya. You can also mix with dry fish, basically. And there's a dry food. We have a lot of dry food. We have Costa, we have royal canine that you can give to your dog. Depending on the protein content. I think I like Booster because of the protein content. I have about 32% protein, which is very, very good for dog's health. You understand? So stuff like that.
So I have a lot of questions that I don't think I will be able to finish up, but what would you say about raising a dog in this economy? Is it something that is very feasible? Is it something that is easy? Because already people are finding it difficult to feed. Is there like an alternative survival means where even the dog is being taken care of? That's my first question. And just to wrap it up, the next question I would like for you to answer is more so a subtitle of this discussion today, which is when do they attack and why do they attack? Why do dogs attack and when do they attack? So I think that is like a two-part questions that are quite question that is quite similar. So I'll just let you answer the two and then probably we can round up. Thank you.
Why do Okay, the thing is, let me first answer the first question. There are alternatives in feeding dogs. That's why I said if you can't afford to buy dry food or canned food for your dogs, there are alternative feeding you can give your dogs. You can give your dog rice. You can give your dog waste indomie. You can give your dog waste spag mixed with dry fish. It's an alternative for you, not too expensive. And it's very possible in this economy. A lot of people buy dogs now, basically, because out there are a lot of thieves, and put it that way. Because of the economy, there's no money. And people want to, protect their home. Okay, let me give you an example. Somebody came some thieves came to my area, basically beside my house, in front of my house. They came, woke up the next morning and then we heard thieves came and then stole a lot of things. But they didn't come to my house. Why? Because they knew I had a dog. That's the essence of buying a dog to me. I didn't just buy the dog, I bought it for security purpose. And when I buy the dog for security purpose, I didn't buy the dog to come and, bite my family or attack my family. Okay. That is where training comes in. That is where you need to socialize your dog with your family, but not socializing with an outsider. That when you intrude to my privacy, you see the other side of the dog.
Okay, so let's just final note. Okay, final note. Let's when do they attack? Why do they attack? And if you can just leave a commentary if you want people to contact you, you can just also let us know your number and your social media handle, and then we can call it a day. So when do they attack? Why do they attack? And you can leave us. You can close with your details just before. So we have about 2 minutes. So if you can just respond to that quickly, thank you.
You see, when do they attack? And why do they attack? Dogs will attack you when they see you as a threat. As a dominant dog, guard dogs generally, I've given you an example of guard dog. We have Boabo, Mastiffs, German Shepherd, Tibetan Mastiffs, a lot of Mastiffs. Their instinct generally is they are very dominant and territorial. So they have the ability to attack. They'll keep backing until probably they see that, the kind of threats they perceive, or the real or perceived threats are subsided. That is when you see them stop backing. If not, if they see it as a threat, in fact, I might be talking to you and my dog is beside me. If my dog sees you trying to shake me or trying to pick up something on the floor, it knows this one wants to, attack his owner, because they are very dominant and they are very loyal to their owner. Dog will attack you immediately. That is when they attack. When they see something as a threat to them, when they perceived you as threats, they will attack you. Do you understand? And you have to look for the kind of dog you buy. Boabo, for example, are much more friendly with kids. I've observed that several times. My dogs are very friendly with kids, even outside kids. I've done that before. I brought a kid into my compound and the dog did not bark because I don't see them as threats. That is how to tell you how intelligent those dogs are. They are very, very intelligent. Probably because I train my dog anyways. When he sees little children, he won't attack because he's not seeing them as threats. But when he sees older person, trust me, he's going to attack you because she's seen you as a threat.
Okay. So I think we need to probably have more sessions with you. I have a lot of questions, and I feel that as regards coping with the economy, feeding the dogs in this economy, also guidelines for security, we might need to schedule some more discussion. So I would see how we can have that in place. So just take the final 30 seconds to basically share your details with people that would like to contact you. Anyone looking to buy a dog, training, or whatever you feel you can actually offer on this subject, then you can actually leave that before we close.
Like I said earlier, my name is Odusiolalu Solomon. That's my name. And my business name is Braga Dogs Kennel. And you can actually contact me on 070 68 96 41 43. Again, 070 68 96 41 43. That's my number. And my email is odusi.olaoluwa@yahoo.com. odusi.olaoluwa@yahoo.com. That's my email. My Gmail is odusi.olaoluwa001@gmail.com. You can contact me on my email. If you need my assistance, you can call me on my phone number. You can message me. I'll be there for you. I'll be there to answer every questions and
Okay.
Talk to you about all of that.
All right, thank you very much, and that's it for today at Yeshua Kids Garden, and we hope to see you again. And please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share with others.
Yeah, my name is Taruar. Taruar of Yashar Kids Garden. Okay, my name is Taruar, the cool one. Yeah, I said it. I'm the cool one. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so just kidding, by the way. Gotta be humble here. Okay, so now my name is Taruar, and I'm the guy with the announcements, the informations, and the reminders. So, speaking of reminders, if you are yet to subscribe to all our platforms, subscribe to us and follow us on TikTok at YasharKidsGarden.ykg, Instagram, Yashar Kids Garden, and lastly, on YouTube. Come on, you want to take a guess? Yashar Kids Garden as well. Okay, so follow us on all these platforms. It's really that easy. This way, you never miss out on anything. So come on now, it's just a button. Click it. Click the subscribe. Click the follow. Come on now. Click it. Click it. Click it. Come on, click it. Alright, so now the announcements. In some time and over a period of time,